Alrighty lads, let me just give you all the details in this video for everything we got for the 10th anniversary. While I was not able to live stream it because my Wi-Fi was kind of having some issues, I was able to watch the stream live and get everything translated, but thankfully the wiki is also kind of just put everything out in a nice, concise manner. So I'm going to go through all of this, and with all the context of stuff we have in the live stream, and dude, it's pretty crazy. Now, we didn't necessarily get a free 5-star character, you know, like a ticket like I was thinking, but essentially they did say you could theoretically get any character that you want. That is because probably the biggest thing that happened in the live stream is that we got 1,000 Saint Quartz if you have finished Ordeal Call 4 by December 20th. And mind you, Pity is like, what, 990 Saint Quartz? It's like something along those lines. So theoretically, you could hard get any single character in the game, not to also mention all the other stuff you'd be getting alongside that. Say Castoria goes on raid up, sure, you can't just pick her out, you do have to use these Saint Quartz to summon, but you would guaranteed be able to get that Castoria and any other characters you happen to pull along the way, which is better, right? Because not only are you guaranteed to get the character, because you can hard pity anybody that you want, including some of the new summer characters if that tickles your pickle, but you'd also get, you know, potentially really good CEs along the way. You could be pulling K-scopes, you could be getting Black Grails, 2030s. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Like, that is clearly the biggest thing that happened, was they just dumped a dump trunk of Saint Quartz onto us, right? It's absolutely ridiculous. So that is one thing that I don't think will really ever get topped. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. 1,000 Saint Quartz to basically say you can hard pity any character you want in the game. If you want to wait for Clay and Sky to come back around, you want to wait for Oberon to come back around, they don't care, right? You can just get whoever you want, whomst ever, right? It's ridiculous. But that's not it. So this is more so something that helps out the paying players, but they are splitting the Destiny order up, which is kind of nice, right? Because one of the issues with Destiny Order is that the extra class things were a little sloppy in how they were sorted out. So what they decided to do is they made a main class Destiny Order and they made an extra class one. So technically, you can get two different SSRs from this, but it is still 30 paid Saint Quartz. You have to be somebody that is willing to pay for the game. I also know that a lot of people have a lot of issues making payments on the JP side of things anyway, but you know, there's a ton of videos you can watch on YouTube to help you out with that. Or I think there's like some shops you can use that will, you know, help you buy Saint Quartz if you're really, really struggling that bad. But this is nice. It is a kind of good bang for your buck type of thing, that if you are a player that does spend money on the game, you're at least able to kind of get more value out of that. You know, it's not a free 5-star, but you know what I mean? Like, you're guaranteed to get a 5-star. It's still very, very valuable. The GSSR is still the same. It's now split into like it's class plus like typing plus targeting. So it's like single target arts lancers or something along, or like single target lancers, AoE lancers, stuff along those lines. That's really nice. So I like it when they structure these in this way, because it means that when you, well, I guess it's not here, but say for instance the Buster AoE lancer one is Roma, it's Ereshkigal, and there's somebody else on there, but it effectively lets you get a character that even if you don't get who you want, say for that one that I just mentioned, if you wanted Ereshkigal but you walked away with Romulus, you're at least still getting a Buster AoE Lancer, right? Like, that is still really good for you. So it does mean that if you want to pay about the 14 bucks for the GSSR, maybe you don't want to shell out the like 40 bucks or something it is to do both of these, like 45 bucks might be closer to that, especially depending on conversion rate for JP. If you don't want to do that, you can at least get somebody that will fulfill a niche that you need, right? If you just need the supporting NPs are a little bit more rough because, you know, there's a big difference between, like, say, a Castoria and a Merlin. They kind of do completely different things for your account, but I at least like if you're going for a DPS, if you're like, I just need a good Buster, or like a good Berserker DPS, you can walk away with something that's really good. Like, if you don't get Morgan, you get Arjuna Alter. They're both really good, even if they both kind of do different things. So that's obviously really good. We don't know what the buffs are going to be for the anniversary, but I do really appreciate, and this is not related to what's on screen right now, but I do appreciate them going through and finally doing some animation updates. I mean, it's something we've been kind of complaining about all year. It's like, where are the animation updates? You know, where are the stuff that we're getting? The fact that they went and did it on what I would say are less popular characters, I do enjoy. I mean, somebody like Darius, you know, in lore-wise, right, is like Iskandar's rival, and Iskandar is like super OP. So why does Darius have literally just a floating PNG as his NP animation? Like, that's ridiculous. Um, so them doing that and then rolling out the buffs, obviously I'll cover who's getting buffed as we kind of start getting into the anniversary. If something's like Dummy Nutty Broken, something's not as good, blah, 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 all that good stuff. This is okay, right? Like, this is kind of nice. It's something that a lot of people have been asking for. It is only limited until December. I don't know why this isn't just permanent, but it is a nice step in the right direction, you know, because the story gacha, even if you're not pulling the 5 stars or the 4 stars, that's kind of the wrong way to be looking at it. There are a lot of very strong 3-star characters that are locked behind the story gacha. I mean, we're talking people like Casterku. We're talking, you know, your Bedavirs, you know, people like that, that are really helpful on low-end accounts, right? If you don't have the craziest Buster Looper, Casterku can still be a Black Grail Buster Looper for you. Or, you know, someone like Bedivere being able to put out some really good single target damage, and he's really good in multi-core setups. So the fact that they are now rolling out these like free daily story summons, I think that is the benefit. That if you are a player that has missed out on a lot of like Bedivere or Kucaster's raid ups, you can kind of just focus on trying to get them here. It also is nice because it does give players an incentive to make sure they're logging in every single day. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you could also walk away with like a Saber Altar, you could get like a Nero, you know, you could walk away with an Artoria, I guess. I mean, Lohai is ridiculous on this banner. It's just a free character you could bag. But, you know, also think about, you know, all of your waivers, you know, your Tamamos, those type of characters you could also bag on there. On the high end, you could get really lucky, but focus on the low end. Like, that stuff is going to be very helpful for a lot of players. Obviously, we have our login bonus. Everybody knows that, you know, St. Quartz, blah, 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 all that good stuff. We did get more missions, not these ones, but there actually is a fix for kind of like the Bond 10. You know, Bond 10 doesn't really give you a whole lot. You know, it's like, oh, you get their a Bond CE, and unless you're going to make them your Grand Servant, or they're just like a really good support where you could slap the Bond CE on them, like a Castoria or a Waver or a Merlin, and it just gives more passive damage, kind of like something like the Ox King CE, right, where it's just giving you, you know, like attack or arts or, you know, stuff along those lines. It does now give you, what is it, like, you get 10 Saint Quartz up until, like, bonding up to, like, 10 Bond 10 Servants. That's just really nice, right? It gives you more of an incentive to, yeah, here it is. It gives you more of an incentive to kind of actually bond up your characters, care about who you're using, that good stuff. That's all nice. Obviously, you stay up to date on, like, free quests. They always are going to implement this as the story is going on. I mean, I guess if you have every single character in the game and you're doing all the strengthening quests, you're probably wailing out harder than anybody else. I don't know if 10 Sanquards is a big deal for you, but it's nice, right? You know, more Sanquards for just doing stuff. This is also really nice that I have not really seen anybody touch up on. Now that we have a lot more materials and more of an incentive to kind of go out and hit these class scores, I do think this is a good incentive for players to go finish out some of their class score stuff, or at least invest in some of these, right? Because the content is going to slowly start getting harder. You know, we're moving to the end of part 2. They're giving us Grand Servants and everything. So now having an incentive of Saint Quartz, if you're kind of like a late game player, it still gives you something to do and something to strive for. Yes, it's more farming, but it's at least you're getting some Saint Quartz out of it, right? That's always nice. You know, 4 times is ridiculous, bro. Like, that's crazy. I mean, I don't want to kind of like just slide over that, but it is kind of crazy. If you're considering 120ing somebody, you know, if you want a 120 Olga who released with this anniversary, now's a really good time to do that, because 4 times rate is redonkulous, and then the Bleached Earth and the daily quest being half off is really nice, especially this, combined with the bond farming. These stages do give you a hefty amount of bond and have really good drop rates for things like QP or mats or whatever you need, so that's going to be really nice if you are that far in the story, which most people should be by this point. Or if you're not already, you're definitely rushing over there for the 1,000 Sanquards, right? These are nice. Just old command codes that have, you know, some versatility, can kind of help you beef up your characters a little bit. Like that they're bringing these back around. None of these CEs, I think, are that crazy. This one is kind of nice for earlier boxes, I guess. Just like NP damage plus starting gauge, that can be helpful if you don't have anything else. But I think you're always going to go for stuff like aerial drive and stuff. But it is nice. I do like that putting these old event CEs in the shop. So maybe if you just want to collect it, you just want to grab a copy for the art, or you just, you just want to collect all the things in the game. That's always really nice. So someone that likes collecting things, I like that as well. I mean, same thing for these. This one is actually pretty decent. This Mystic Code right there, but like, it's just nice. Maybe you watch the Babylonia anime and you're like, I just want to have it. I just want to have it. It's just kind of nice. It's just kind of cool. Let me just bag that. I like players being able to grab those things. And then obviously for people like me that are running out of expansion slots, this is always going to be really good to just dump more of those CEs and stuff in here. Then we have Olga. She came out. I did a video on her yesterday. She's disgusting. She's really good. Unfortunately, I don't think you guys are going to be seeing any summons from me on that one. I managed to, if you follow the Twitter, I have bagged NP3 in like 300 Saint Quartz or something. I mean, I was summoning live with some of the boys, and they were like, dude, leave some more for the rest of us, man. But, I was able to kind of like limit break some of these CEs, and I will say, this is not a bad one to get max limit broken, because I now have it limit broken. It's not bad. 15% NP gain, 60% NP, and you get 2k attack if you max level it. Like, that's not bad. Especially if you have a looper that's not as good. They're not a crazy good looper. That could be the thing that helps them out. I'm thinking especially like quick characters. This is also a nice one, just to kind of have on like random banners and stuff. Pierce Invul, 40% starting charge and 20% NP gain. Very, very good if you're going into CQs and stuff. Why it's a mixed HP and attack CE, I have no idea, but the effects are still very, very strong. A lot better if you are kind of stuck using the Christmas Altera one. That's like 50% gauge and Pierce Invul. This is giving you a little bit more. I mean, the 40% is just, it's going to be as good as the 50% battery one, right? And it's going to be giving you 20% NP gain, so you're looping a bit easier going into those boss fights. I don't think we have this yet. I'm kind of curious to see who they're going to throw on for this, but it's going to have to be some bangers, right? It's going to have to be some absolute maniacs if they're going to try to have you competing with Olga's and some of the, well, they don't have it here. They might have it over here? The summer characters. Okay, if they don't have it here, the summer characters are, we know Lip is the 5-star, we know that Krimhild, which has everybody going feral, which I agree, she looks awesome. She's going to be on that banner. But then Huion was also displayed, but it looks like she's the free-to-play, is what I'm seeing a lot of people talking about, which is kind of odd. Does that mean we're just going to have 4 summer characters, like 1 5-star, 1 4 on one banner, then 1 5, 1 4 on the other banner? I'm not really sure, but I don't really care. If they make Huion free-to-play, that's awesome. I could save my Saint Quartz to see what the second banner is going to be. And if she's going to be on the banner, actually, and she's not the free-to-play, then I don't care. I will be dropping my life savings to NP5 that Huion. Long-time viewers of the channel know. Real ZTL fans know. Your boy is the biggest Huion defender out there, dude. I love Huion to pieces. Look, y'all all fake fans. Y'all were like, oh, once the summer CE came out where she's in the hoodie and everything, everyone's like, oh my goodness, Huion is stacked, bro. And I was like, bro, I've always been there since day one, bro. Since day one, minute one, we've been on that Huion camp. So with that being said, that is pretty much the main stuff we have for the anniversary right now. Wanted to make sure I got a video covering this. If you want to play the JP version of the game, I mean, like APK Pure, APK Combo, you go download that, slap it on your phone, slap it on an emulator, get to grinding, bro. I mean, I'm not going to say that you have to grind all the way to Ordeal Call 4. There are some methods that I won't say, but people in the Discord or people in the comment section down below might be able to tell you. If you don't feel like grinding the whole story, there might be a method for you to kind of skip a lot of that minutia, kind of skip ahead, get a little more caught up on the story if you're just trying to get to that 1,000 Saint Quartz. I'm not saying nothing. Me, I don't know. I'm oblivious to it. But people in the comments in the Discord, they might know. So, with that being said, things I want in the comment section down below. I want to know what y'all think about Olga. Are y'all hyped? Do you guys have any ideas for Banner 2? Me, still holding out hope for that Summer Medea. Please, Nasu, bless me. Alright, Tucson, Nasu, bless me, give me that Summer Medea. And this is peak game for the rest of my life, right? Oh, we also did find out what the Olga Marie items are for. They are to effectively make a grand version for your beast characters, because they're not going to do beast trials for grand servants, because that doesn't make sense, right? Grand servants take out the beasts. So the Olga pieces, you get all 4 of those, you use them to make your beast get all like the grand buffs and everything, which was an idea that I had. I was like, I don't think they're going to be awakening materials. Maybe there's something you could use to beef up Olga to like 150 like she was in Lost Belt 7, and I was kind of right. They are kind of buff materials, so not necessary, but if you do want to make your Draco, your Space Ereshkigal, or your Unbeast, you know, Olga Marie over here, you want to make them your grand, you're going to need to get those done. The fights are not super hard, they're just more annoying, to say the least. That being said, I've only done 2 of them. I did the fire and water one. I saw the giant one had like 8 billion HP, and I was like, I'll do that later. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.